Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. Today we're going to be going for the Greater Hungary achievement. It shouldn't be too difficult, but it should be a quick look into a nice little achievement we can get as we play through some Hungary. Of course, the loading screen here does present itself as an Austro-Hungarian kind of screen, but what if Hungary was really just a true power on its own? Well, I suppose we can go take a look. Iron Man Historical, and off we go. So, because we're doing an achievement, we can just take a look exactly at what we need to do immediately. As Hungary, proclaim Greater Hungary and control all your historical states. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me which states they are, so I'm going to guess we can see that in the focus tree. Right, scrolling down at the bottom, here it is, reaffirm some territorial claims, so I assume it's taking all of these focuses, and then proclaiming Greater Hungary. So Southern Slovakia, the Rus, North Transylvania. Okay, I think those are going to be our key states. So to do it, we can start off by continuing the regency. But I don't really want to be doing that. The truth is, monarchy is always going to be the better way to play, and I see no reason not to start now and sneak ourselves all the way to the right and start playing down there. So let's end the regency. And away we go. The beginning of the tree mostly consists of just taking focuses to try and get your country to become monarchist, so there's not too much to really describe here, but just follow down the tree. The Safe Cross March on Budapest. Well, typically I'd take the top option, and I suppose there's a reason still to do so, but it's also kind of in our playstyle to take the bottom option. With reach out to the candidates complete, we now get to pick who we want as king, and there are 5 options. A couple of Habsburgs, of course, Horvey, a democratic king, but our option of choice, the Fash king. This was actually in the previous DLC when it came out, Death or Dishonor, but my goodness, I think perhaps of all the trees, maybe against the Habsburg one, this branch has had a considerable upgrade. One of the reasons I always liked this focus branch is just because the leader is so interesting. Frederick Franz of Mecklenburg-Schwerin. Getting a duke of the former little kingdom of Mecklenburg over here is so funny to me. And it should be noted that with the new DLC, there is an even more interesting new decision to integrate Mecklenburg. Mecklenburg, Hungary can become a reality. Frederick Franz assumes the Hungarian crown, a member of the SS since 1931. Something tells me he's not the good guy in this story. So you actually become a non-aligned country when you switch over to him, and he does have a trendy new portrait, but also you can actually turn the nation Fash and still keep him as your leader. You just need to get an advisor somewhere in here, I'm sure there is one. There it is. Sympathizer, which gives you some Fash support and you can flip the nation to Fash but still keep your king. The next section is always something that I raise the question about, and I still think it could be true. If you renounce the Treaty of Trianon, you will bypass secret rearmament, but if you bypass secret rearmament, do you not get the effects of Levant Association's mobilization speed going up? 10% mobilization speed is actually pretty good. But maybe we should just forsake it in the name of trying to get focuses done as quickly as possible. Romania folds, remove the Treaty of Trianon. Okay, jolly good. Finally, partial mobilization. Of course, this does mean we bypass secret rearmament, and as I thought, we don't get any mobilization speed. Okay, Act of Defense is complete, which is an important turning point for actually discussing some logic about how to go about doing this. The long and short of the situation is the 4 nations that surround us are the core holders of the Hungarian claims, and every single one of them is going to become under the de jure of the Axis. First up it's Austria, then Czechoslovakia, then I think maybe Romania joins the Axis, and then Yugoslavia gets eaten by Italy. In short, you're basically running up against the clock. So there are some things you can kind of do to slow down the process. For example, with Germany's Anschluss of Austria, they're not going to Anschluss Austria if Austria is in a faction. So it can be within your interest to immediately go down the left-hand branch and try and get Austria into a faction with you. going with alliance with Italy. Once that's done, however, we need to race north to get Czechoslovakia, so that we can hopefully take some of the cores we have there before the Germans do their Munich betrayal. Okay, let's start renewing the Rome protocols. Hopefully Italy isn't going to stab me in the back with this. Thank God that all of these focuses are just 35 days. You can just zoom straight through them. Okay, the federal state of Austria hands over Burgenland for guarantees. That's pretty good. That's probably a pretty good start. I'm not sure if it's the start I'm necessarily looking for, but it really depends on how it goes with the alliance with Italy. I need Austria to join. Italy joining would be good too, but I need Austria to join. Italy joins and Austria joins. Thank goodness for that. Okay, because of that, I think the timer on us needing to get Austria has been slightly reset. As soon as the Germans start doing the Sudetenland focuses, we might be able to use that as an opportunity to quickly sneak in Austria before they can take the joining of the Axis. It's kind of complicated, but I'm pretty sure this works out in our favour. In the meantime, we can do the other focuses that we need to do through Promote Hungarianism. Next up on our list is the main core section of how we get the achievement. By reaffirming all of these different territorial claims, we can proclaim Greater Hungary and get what we're after. So, let the focus taking begin. By taking reaffirmed territorial claims though, we now have the option to start coring all of the territory around us, including stuff that I don't think is necessarily part of Greater Hungary, like Dalmatia, but it is available to us. Now you may think I want to core this section of Austria, but I'm just going to hold off on it for a little bit longer. In the meantime, let's see if we can't get ourselves a free Slovakia. Oh, they said yes. Perfectamundo. How about giving me the rest of the entirety of Slovakia? What even is the difference between these two things? Oh, this one involves making Slovakia a puppet, while this one just demands the land. Well, hopefully they just give me the land outright. And let's core down southern Slovakia. Now northern Hungary, I suppose. I mean, to be fair, we do have Italy and Austria in our faction, so for them to say no, I mean, apart from the Romanian monster on our border, I would say it's kind of unwise of them. Well, what's the answer, Czechoslovakia? Oh, they said yes. I suppose in that case it's time to go after Romania and Transylvania. Perhaps the most RNG out of all of the things, and the thing most likely to be a run killer. Core, and core. But, upon taking the focus demand Transylvania, things are maybe going to get a little bit weird. So, let's see if this all works out. I'm really hoping that the bypass time for Germany for Anschluss has already happened in March 1938. I can really wait up until the 2nd, but just to prove it, I'm going to kick Italy out, and once this focus is done, I'm going to kick Austria out too. The Kingdom of Hungary demands Transylvania. Perfect. So, kick from faction. Let's try and destroy the faction. And now we should be able to work towards demanding Burgenland. Very, very good. With this, Hungary is now completely on its own again. And Romania refuses. This is okay. This is okay. They went too far this time. Now we just need to ask somebody for help. As long as we don't pick the allies, I think this should work out a little better, right? Hey, Italy, any help? And they did it. The Kingdom of Romania transfers Transylvania. Perfection. This also means we now have the ability to go straight against the Austrian border in preparations for our conflict for the entirety of Austria. The Grand Duke has grand ambitions, and I don't refuse a single bit of territory. For the more eagle-eyed among you, you may have noticed that I have been collecting some transport planes and paratroopers. Hey, sometimes the fastest way to get into Austria is to completely skip the front line entirely. That looks sufficiently awful for the eyes. I think it will work. Okay, Austria, just say no. Literally just say no. Oh my goodness, they said no. It's all my greatest dreams combined. Okay, they will come to regret this decision. Now let's just pray they don't join the Axis or something. They are now fash, that's a problem. Perhaps if we make a very quick faction of Italy called Please No Join Axis, they'll be less incentivized. And maybe move some units around. Okay, let's get some greens, let's get some landings. The dawn of please no joint axis. Paradrops are heading in. I'll just make sure to stick them on defensive landings. I literally cannot even see my front line right now because of the invasions. And they took my paratrooper. Damn it. Just don't join the axis, just don't do it. Please just don't do it. That's all I beg of you. Make sure we take the 2 southern cities down here. I mean, honestly, do I really have to take Innsbruck as well? Oh, Wells. Okay, come on, that must be enough. Take all states. Now, who said just because you're not doing an Austria-Hungary focus tree, you're not allowed to form Austria-Hungary, okay? I'm allowed to do it if I want to. I guess the only disappointment is our inability to get the Czech Republic. They are doomed to join the Germans. Although, considering we're the Archduke of Mecklenburg, I guess we are also the Germans? Kind of a strange thing. Oh, and might I just add, this is now the time that we can start reintegrating all of this lovely territory. Wunderbar. So with things looking pretty good now, I'm pretty sure that the only thing left that we need to form Greater Hungary is this part of Yugoslavia. Unfortunately, they're guaranteed by Romania, so we might have to build up a little bit more of an army before we can actually push in. Unfortunately, we don't have the manpower to do so, so I might have to start building a fort line just to keep them at bay. Perhaps by demanding the Vojvodina, we can at least get a little bit more manpower after we core some territory. I know that trying to core up the territory in Transylvania has to help somehow. And as predicted, the Kingdom of Yugoslavia does hand over the territory. At one point you get so strong that people just start giving you everything for free. It's not the end of the world, I suppose. It does mean we can integrate more territory. In the meantime, because there's much more of Yugoslavia to take, my main goal and focuses is to get down to expand the Honvédség, perhaps, because it just gives us recruitable population. Anything that gives recruitable at this point, I really need. Honestly, it probably feels like there's no time like the present. We have the ability to claim the state. Not too hard on the old justification. I think this is manageable. Okay, thank goodness, at least we have a supply of manpower coming in now. With the justification of West Banat completed and my hopes for defending Romania completely vanished, let us now declare the war and just hope that things go okay. Things are looking somewhat green in the centre of the line, but not amazing. In fact, we are getting quite a few push-throughs. I just don't know how much energy I have to really last for the full duration when this terrible side is having to hold out against Romania. At least we can boost up our conscription law. I guess the best plan is snake for victory. Romanian side somewhat holding. Just ignore it, please. Just don't look at it. My goodness, this is a little too tense for my likings right now. Luckily, they seem to have found themselves pushing into Austria, territory I truly don't care about, so you're welcome to have it, I suppose. As their units have become more and more encircled, I'm basically just gonna try and snipe the victory points, moving in where I can. In terms of capitulation, they're actually almost there. Perhaps a horse taking Ljubljana if it's empty could be the kind of victory we're looking for. Oh well, if they leave it undefended, I'm gonna take it. Oh yes, just flood into Austria, why don't you? Please, be my guest. Oh, and they've also left this front open. Well, don't mind if I do, I suppose. Wow. I'd say that went pretty well. Forgive me if I'm gonna come across as a little bit boring and take all states, and then just end the peace deal. Right. Now we've got to deal with Romania. Sure, why not? All I need to do is push this one tile, and then I really think it's a flood towards Bucharest. Oh, and let's not forget, we can core up the remaining territory that we need to get all of Greater Hungary. Now, to deal with Romania, if you're really struggling, you can actually just call Italy in. Hopefully you would have generated enough war score through the stuff you've done so that when it actually comes to the peace deal, they can't take too much from you. And it's actually okay if they take a little too. So let's see what happens. Oh yes, the paratrooping strat. I could have just done this earlier. Hey, if it works, it works. Just casually dropping behind enemy lines, you love to see it. That is a lot of places taken, my goodness. Well, if any of you doubted my use of paratroopers there, yeah, Romania did not think to hide any of their victory points, like literally none of them, and I just took everything. Because I'm generating a little bit too much world tension, I'm probably gonna try and liberate some territory. Maybe we can get Ukraine and Bessarabia back into the game. Ooh, 27%. Let's just ignore that, shall we? I think the most important thing to take away from this very weird looking peace deal is that is a particularly thick looking Hungary. I mean, you cannot go wrong with that, right? With that all completed, all we have to do now is take the focus, proclaim Greater Hungary. All of the territory has been collected, we should be known as Greater Hungary, and we even get a nice little spirit. Let's go. And that should be that. A great hunger. As Hungary, proclaim Greater Hungary and control all of your greater states. Frederick Franz of Mecklenburg-Schwerin issued a proclamation. Greater Hungary, the world will see our might. I'm not particularly a fan of the brown colour. I kind of liked the old sort of different colour. And there we go. That is how you get a great hunger and a truly Greater Hungary. No war with the Allies, no having to deal with any stress, just straightforward Hungary doing the best it can. I didn't really need to rely on Italy too much. They just gave me the extra air superiority to get my paratroopers over the line, but other than that, I didn't need them either. So you might be thinking I'm going to end the video there. I mean, that is the end of the challenge, right? Forming a Greater Hungary, but maybe not quite. You see, we do have the Greater Hungarian cause, but this man right here, this is Frederick Franz of Mecklenburg-Schwerin, and I don't see Mecklenburg under our control. And if you look in our decisions, integrate Mecklenburg. We can core Mecklenburg. That is more Hungarian core territory up for grabs. It seems to me like we've got a date with destiny, and Adolf is on the other side of the table. We better prepare ourselves for quite a conflict. In order to do this, I'm basically just planning to make sure that my threat goes down low enough so that I can join the Allies. Unfortunately, there's a pretty dramatic kind of bug in the game, where if you have even the smallest amount of personal threat generated, apparently we've caused the greatest in the world, my goodness, the UK is going to constantly kick you from the Allies and then ask you to rejoin and then kick you again and then rejoin, and it just breaks your front line. So for that reason, literally just because of that alone, I'm not going to do anything until that number has gone down to 0. Not the most thrilling thing in the world, so I'm probably going to skip through it and you're not going to see any of it. So in our more interesting timeline, Germany hasn't invaded Poland yet. Your personal experience may vary, but I am playing on historical, so taking Austria away from Germany really slows down their troop build-up. They lose the cores, they lose the free troops, the industry, all of it, and so they're on a bit of a delay. As a result, we do actually have the option to guarantee the independence of Poland. We didn't go fash, we're trying to stay somewhat good. And that means we could find ourselves getting an early push into Germany, maybe even asking Italy to come help us. Honestly, I've never tried this before, so maybe we can get Mecklenburg by helping Poland. That would be very weird. Oh, right. Our attaches will be similarly pleased. Germany has declared on Poland. Poland, I assume, is going to join the Allies. And I guess we've got a call to arms. Okay. Hey, Italy, do you want to join us? Oh, and Poland joined our faction instead. Sure, why not? Gombo's trade treaty is gone? Well, I suppose that's to be expected when you're at war with Germany. And the Soviets are going to send us 12 divisions. Maybe we do stand a chance. That is a lot of green air. It's a shame about Czechoslovakia, which is our primary border, but that is a lot of green air. I suppose the Please No Join Axis faction is doing its work if Italy is at war with the Axis. Oh, welcome in, Soviet Union. You're more than welcome to come join us. Okay, we've taken Munich. I really hope they've overextended themselves here and we aren't just going to collapse into nothingness. Germany's continuing to put pressure on the Benelux. That's going to open up his front against France and actually make him weaker, not stronger, especially considering he hasn't actually taken down Poland yet. I think the German AI is using that new offensive system to do a spearhead straight into Poland, completely avoiding Danzig. I'm pretty sure that's the new AI mechanic. It does mean they kind of have ignored their southern front though. Damn it, Warsaw fell. If Poland falls, that might be GG. I don't really have a backup plan. Maybe Italy can mobilise a little bit better and actually help us in some of this regard. Okay, good news from the Western Front. The French have decided to push out. They're even bringing their tanks into play, and the Benelux has not fallen an inch. Unfortunately, my line is starting to stagnate out. They probably need to rest, regain some org and try again, but luckily it seems like the Allies are doing a pretty good job on the North Front, and we still have a pretty sizable amount of contribution. I am so surprised, by the way, that the Poland chose to join us over the Allies. I mean, I'm really happy about it. I'm just surprised. You what? Excuse me? I mean, hey, if they choose to do that, then in all likelihood, I'm going to get the territory, right? This is not going to work out in their favour. Okay, the battle for Nuremberg is on. On Nuremberg, I suppose. Poland has actually solidified, and they're taking Königsberg. That means all these units are encircled. Not the end of the world for Poland yet. Let's just hope the Soviets don't stab them in the back. Oh, the encirclement! Germany, it's so Jova! It's so Jova for you! Oh my goodness, now that is some war score if I've ever seen it. I simply refuse to believe they have the ability to keep this up. They don't have the mills or sieves for it. And they're losing them every time we take land. On my way to Leipzig. I think the gates of Berlin are not too far away now. They must just be running out of people to stop me. That must be what's going on. I can now report that the paratroopers are on their way. I think we're reaching a point now where we hit some major cities and they're going to be very close to capitulation. On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. There's Weimar. Oh no, the swarm. They're getting in crazy swarms. I think I will take your super heavy howitzer, but I think I'd sooner take Berlin. Now what's very important is after we take it, we need to get towards Rostock to take Mecklenburg. This gives us the option to core it early, I'm pretty sure, meaning we can take it easier in the peace deal. Oh, they're guarding Rostock. Doesn't matter. Ignore it. Just push forward. Nothing else matters. To where whoever takes Rostock takes Mecklenburg. I'm pretty sure we only need to hold it for a section too, before we're eligible to maintain it. My goodness, look at this disaster. Good job in France though for pushing through the Rhineland. Of all the tiles they're choosing to maximum defend, why on earth is it Rostock of all things? They know the Grand Duke wants his homeland. I'm actually now more worried that we're going to capitulate them faster than we can integrate Mecklenburg. I'm trying to build up some supply line going through the centre of the country so that we're not completely lost. Rostock is taken, and I believe integrate Mecklenburg. This has to be a guarantee now of taking this in the peace deal. I refuse to believe otherwise. Well done to Poland, of course, for staying strong and not capitulating. This is really not the time for the IMRO to reappear. I guess it's also true to say that we shouldn't end the war until it has been cored. It only gets the core after the effects have been removed. And considering we're currently at 78%, we might be in some trouble, but I'm not giving up just yet. Hey, whatever happens, happens. 91%? Getting really close now. A lot of the units are just kind of trapped in pockets where they're basically just going to get destroyed. And for some reason, Italy has taken this section of Germany. Nice naval invasion, I suppose. 2. Okay, one more day, and then we get our Mecklenburg. Greater Hungary has Mecklenburg as a core state. That's all I needed to hear. Now, I'm happy to finish this conflict. Can we just take a moment before the end to look at the size of Hungary? I mean, they are literally, like, beyond a major power at this point. They must be ridiculously strong. The path forward to Breslau is basically open. Let's see if they've actually got anyone to stop me. Oh, they do. They're about to at any rate. Let's just see if we can't hold them off for a second longer. I think that should do it. They're pretty pinned. There's Breslau, 100%. So the greatest war score is really shared between me and France, and then it's down to Poland. So, Mecklenburg is free, and I'd like Bohemia. Oh, thank you, Poland. Poland just gave me Mecklenburg. That was nice of them. Okay, I think that's about as good as it's going to get. Amazing. The German Reich was allowed to survive in Württemberg because nobody took it. Brilliant. There's a random German republic that isn't really a part of any faction at all. But we did manage to get Mecklenburg, our legendary core territory, as well as some little puppets on the side. The Duchy of Schleswig-Holstein, the Kingdom of Prussia, led by a new Prussian king. I was even able to get Bavaria into the mix. All in all though, I think that's where my story comes to an end. I could definitely continue playing. The Axis is now weakened, so this is just a free Bulgaria. They're in a faction and they're not going to leave, so this territory is for free. And the German Republic might not even join the Allies, so with enough time and waiting, you might even be able to take the entirety of Germany. At that point, mixed in with Poland and Italy, you could maybe plan a preemptive strike against the UK and France and then work yourselves to becoming a global power. But I'm okay not doing that. I'm just happy that one of my funnier characters, Frederick Franz of Mecklenburg-Schwerin, was able to gain such power, and we did it without going fash, which is big because typically that guy joined the SS, so for us to have changed history, remained non-aligned, and actually worked against the Axis is probably one of the better timelines, and he even got to go home. With that being said, I'll say thank you very much for watching. If you liked, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, 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 bye.